The spiritualist New Age movement is so close to the truth, but it's not the truth. And a question for a lot of those people would be, well, if you say that you attract what you focus on and you give power to what you focus on, and that's why you should only focus on the good, well, I don't know, folks. When I was younger, I don't ever remember focusing on there being aircraft spraying chemicals on me. I don't ever remember focusing on there being dioxins and heavy metals and toxins put into my food and toxic waste put into my water supply. I don't remember ever attracting any of those things into my life, and yet here they all are. So I'm not quite sure how that fits into the scheme of things at all. I think that people need to understand that there is a cause to all of the problems that we face. It's a common cause. All of the problems have the same cause, and it would be easy for us to deal with the problem simply by standing up and addressing it and saying no. Well, that's what I'm doing, folks. I'm pretty well saying no from now on. I'm just not going to go along with it unless it's the right thing. I'm not going to do anything that is not morally sound. I'm not going to do anything that someone else doesn't benefit from. I'm not going to do anything that is done at the expense of anybody else. I just want to do what's right from now on in all that I do. And whatever consequences I suffer because of that, well, that's fine. I'm still prepared to suffer those consequences and simply not take a backward step. Because it's time people stood up and claimed the planet back, folks. Peaceful non-compliance. We don't need any revolution. We don't need anything like that. I'm not asking for the overthrow of any governments. We need government to run a country, obviously. We need some sort of governance to run a world, but we don't need the criminal cabal that is currently running the planet. And it's useless to try and use the political system or the legal system to remove these people from power. I mean, even the legal action that I'm doing against this swine flu, against Baxter Labs and the WHO, I don't expect to win any type of case against these people. They'll tie it up in red tape for years. It'll never get where I want it to go, but it will let them know that people are waking up to what they're doing, and it will give the people of my country a legal foothold so they can say, now hang on a minute, you can't expect me to take a vaccine produced by a company which is currently facing charges for releasing contaminated vaccine. They can't expect people to put up with that. So it gives us a legal foothold. That's all I expect it to do. But apart from that, I'm simply going to be saying no. No, I won't do this. No, I want the criminals who are doing this and are doing these things and creating this mayhem in the world to be held accountable. I want these people to be removed from power. I want them to step down from office so we can put honest people in there. And a lot of people will say, well, how are you ever going to get honest people in there? Well, that's simple, folks. You simply put in an honest monetary system and you make it a law whereby any corporation who breaks any environmental rule or does any damage or commits usury or any of the big evils of our world, well, then it gets its charter revoked. That's it. End of corporation. People use corporations as scapegoats. You know, people will say, oh, Monsanto. I mean, even I talk about Monsanto being a criminal company. It's a criminal company, of course, but ultimately it's the criminals who run it that are the problem. And you meet these people and you say, well, these are normal, nice people. But it's when they get together as a board, they're like a cancerous organism when they sit together on their company board. You know, these people running these corporations are people, just like you and me. They're the ones who are doing the damage, not the corporation. And the reason it's happening is because we allow it to happen. That's the thing. They get away with it because we just say, oh, well, that's the way it is. Well, it's not the way it is, folks. It's the way we allow it to be. And it's happening all over the place. It happens all over the world. I mean, you look at any country in the world, there's all these people always up in arms against the government, and the news spins it like, there's insurgents and there's people rioting in the street. Well, why do you think these people are rioting in the streets of these countries, folks? They're just people who just like to pick up rocks and go down the street and start smashing things. I mean, sure, that's what people like to do on a Saturday night, isn't it? I mean, come on, folks. These people are rioting because of what their governments are doing. These are just people. It's the governments that are the problem. It's the same all over the world. It's always the governments that are the problem. How many people do you know who want war? How many people do you know who want to go and blow other people in other countries up? There's not too many people that actually feel like doing that. It's not a really good pastime. You know, all of these wars happen because of the governments, because of the criminals in control of the governments. It's just ridiculous. And it all happens because we let it happen. All we have to do, folks, is stand up and say no. Getting close to the end of the show, remember to visit thecrowhouse.com. All the information on the website is totally free for you all. Feel free to download it, distribute it, post it anywhere you'd like. Please support the grassroots action to stop the introduction of mandatory vaccinations and to alert people to the realities of the swine flu outbreak. Help with the Facts to Stop the Vax initiative, both in the United States and in Australia. I believe there's one also going in Canada and hopefully in the UK as well. You can see my website, thecrowhouse.com, for details about that on the swine flu action page by clicking on the Coordinated Community Action link, and that will take you straight to the Crowhouse forums. You'll find all of that information on the community board in the Crowhouse forums. I'll also be posting information regarding to how I'm going with the slow process of getting this legal action started in Australia, and with letters that I get back from the Health Minister, anything like that. It'll all be posted in the forums in there. On that forum, you'll also find the open letter that I've sent to the Australian Health Minister, which has also been sent to the New Zealand Minister for Health as well. It's a letter that can be adapted for any country. So with some very simple changes, you can use the same letter and do the same thing and send it off in your own countries, and I urge you to do so. I have more information still coming from Jane Burgermeister in the form of charge sheets. As soon as these become available, I will be sending them off and posting them on the website for others to use as well. And don't forget, folks, Global Non-Compliance Day on August the 25th, and every month from now on, with a view into extending it into perhaps a 3-day or even a week-long event. I mean, I'd just like it to go for a while, but we'll just see how we go with that. The link is on my website to that as well. That will get you to the Facebook group where it's been coordinated. That's about it for the show today, folks. It's been a pleasure talking to you again. I'm sorry I haven't been doing more live shows. My life has been a little bit hectic the last couple of months, and it's just not easy for me to be in the right place at the right time to do live shows at the moment, but I am working on it, and hopefully it won't be much longer. But folks, it really is time for people to wake up, and it is time for people to take action, because when you look at your country, the United States of America, the home of the brave and the land of the free, what you notice is that with the introduction of Bill HR2749, all the laws are now in place. The 800 FEMA detention camps are there. The trains are there, all the tracks are laid. The year-long brigade of Army training is complete. The increased fluoride levels in your water has happened. The aspartame in your drinks and your chewing gums. The WHO level 6 pandemic. The chemtrail spraying is all in place. The fake recession has been created. And now we have the 3-shot vaccine. I mean, with all of this stuff going on, they certainly wouldn't want you to get the flu, now would they? Okay, folks, well, that's it for me. I love you all. Please take care. And don't take the vaccines, folks. Don't take the vaccines. Thanks for listening again, folks. I will speak to you next week. Have a wonderful week. Goodbye for now.